Hello, I'm Brian Dolby and this is GTB Television reporting from the Global Telecoms Business Innovation Summit at the Park Lane Hotel in London. I'm pleased to be joined by Robin Mersh, the Chief Operating Officer of the Broadband Forum. Robin, you've come over from the States for this event and some others, and then I think you're going on to Asia straight after that. What are some of the big challenges facing the Broadband Forum and its groups and people and members during this year?
Well, we always have a lot of challenges. You know, virtually every year there's something to focus on. This year particularly, it's for the migration to IPv6. So, and that entails work within architecture and within the connected home as well. But this is very important that we get this out this year. So this is the challenge for the year.
Why is it so critical?
Well, one reason is IPv4 addresses are running out. But I think what's more interesting is why they're running out in the first place. So basically the connected home is becoming more and more connected. There's more and more devices. So the more devices you create, the more IP addresses you need. So this, in a sort of sense, you can say running out is actually, in some sense, is a good thing. But you know, you don't necessarily want to tell the engineers that, because this is obviously something they need to get out the door. But that's the reason. So.
And I think next generation architectures is also another critical area that you're all working on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this will be work over the next couple of years, but we're particularly working in areas of questions around convergence. So convergence, actually in a lot of different ways, but particularly convergence from wireless and wireline, but also convergence again around the sort of the home environment. So you're getting between consumer electronics and telecoms. So there's various sort of like areas that this affects, but the architecture work really is about, you know, the world is moving to an all IP world, but this means significant change within the telecoms industry. So we have some major pieces of work going on, and we welcome people's participation in that. That's part of the reason why I sort of say this, is that even though the work is not complete, we need to get that complete, and you need to understand what those requirements are. So we're very open to people bringing those requirements in.
Now, I know you're here, you've been on a panel about standards groups and standards bodies. Tell us a little bit about what was discussed.
Well, it partly goes to this issue, I would sort of say, about convergence. It kind of highlights the issue in that you know, standards don't sit on their own. You know, you don't work on these things in isolations. It's not like an academic exercise. We work on real-world problems. Convergence, interestingly enough, has been something that people have spoken about for a few years, without it actually really happening. I would argue now it really is happening, and I think you can see evidence of that within the forum, in that we are getting now more wireless companies who are interested in the work. But to get back to this sort of point, why I think this is so critically important is that unless you connect standards to the real world, and unless you look at those business requirements, then you're in danger of just not doing things fast enough, or you're working on the wrong kind of issues. If you look at criticisms of the standards world, quite often it's issues like it's not particularly related to the pain points that the telcos are having, or it is something that's kind of more academic, or it's too slow. If you really understand your business requirements, if your members are really telling you those specific issues and when things need to happen, then you're going to work faster, you know, more efficiently. I think one other issue I would like to mention, though, is just the idea that we really do need to cooperate really closely. There are an awful lot of bodies, and you know, we don't want to be talking at cross purposes. We want to make sure that we're well aligned, and we cooperate as closely as possible, which we really do try and do.
Yes, I know you've championed several sessions at various conferences and exhibitions where you've actually taken the initiative and brought some of the standards groups together to discuss this kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've done this a few times, and I think we have been largely successful. But I mean, I'll sort of just give you, kind of going back to maybe some recent history for the Broadband Forum, is one thing that I think some of this discussion led to was the union between the IP&PLS Forum and the Broadband Forum, bringing more organisations, really close together, you know. So, and I'm not sort of suggesting that's something you always sort of like do, but I think the idea of streamlining is a very good idea. I think, you know, for the industry, they get very confused over exactly, you know, who does what. They don't know where to send people. It's a very expensive, time-consuming process. So the easier that the standards world makes it for the telcos and their vendors, the better it is for the industry.
Okay, well, Robin, thanks very much for talking to GTB TV today.
Thank you.